Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists. My name is Jean Berolsheimer. I use she, her pronouns, and I will be your service leader today. If you are visiting, please participate as you feel comfortable. You are invited to stay and introduce yourself in conversation following the service. Our congregation is committed to individual freedom of belief, welcomes diversity, seeks to promote a sense of community, and fosters religion which enriches the spirit. We are a mostly lay-led community strengthened and enriched by weaving together the volunteer contributions of members and friends and the wonderful contributions and leadership of our minister, Reverend Florence Kaplow. As we begin our service, please take a couple of breaths to become fully present. Relax and bring your attention into this moment of communal reflection and sharing. This land acknowledgement has been given to us by the Puyallup tribe. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional homelands of the Squabash, Coast Salish Native people. The Puyallup people have lived on and stewarded these lands since the beginning of time and continue to do so today. We recognize that this land acknowledgement is one small step toward true allyship, and we commit to uplifting the voices, experiences, and histories of the indigenous people of this land and beyond. We will have a moment of silence now. Remembering the people whose lands we occupy. As Unitarian Universalists, we value transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages. Never complete and never perfect. So I'd like to invite someone from the stewardship team to come up and I'm inviting you.
Did he realize he was on the team?
I don't know.
Did not, no. But I am prepared, sort of. Hi, my name is Mark, and Ann had asked me to testify, as it were. I suspect something to do with why I'm here and what it means to me. I'm a big fan of numerous different readers. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You raise your hand? And so I thought I would read a passage from Peter Heller's most recent book called The Orchard. For me, it sort of sums up how I feel about all you folks and Vashon in particular and the way my life is going right now. There is no way to correctly order all the information, all the stimuli, every minute, because the imagination is running wild, always traveling and introducing new trajectories of inquiry, new spoilers, new territories, new fairies, and new monsters. In the cacophony of bird call and voices, there's really no way to properly order anything. We do the best we can, but the Cheshire Cat smiles down at us and a rabbit hole opens. So we follow our noses, our curiosity, our impulses, and our loves, and our lives are generally a mess. And so, of course, we are heartbroken half the time, and half the time at a loss, and half the time wondering why we took the path, and half the time humming and excited as we explore some new trail, which all adds up to way more than 100%, which is, of course, part of our problem.
Love it.
Thank you.
Our chalice lighting is a piece that was written by Reverend Scott Tyler, The Door Swung Wide. We light this flame in a world where so much has grown dark. May it remind us that sparks can always be struck, and very little is inevitable. Most of it is mystery and magnificent surprises, which means new and yet to be imagined worlds always wait, which means a door has already swung wide, with possibility waiting on the threshold, ready to pull us through.
Lovely.
So I welcome you to join us in standing, if you're able, with our first hymn, which is in the Teal hymnal, which is good because that's the one you have, on hymn 1024. When the Spirit says do.
So when we, excuse me, when we sing this, do we do this second part? The Spirit says do multiple times. Do we do this one very often? This song? Oh, you've never done it. Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So this song, it's spiritual. So sing out loud, sing with gusto. Don't worry too much about the notes that are written on the page. And so I think what I'll do is I'll skip the Spirit says do part at the very end. So it says Spirit says do 6 times. So it's a little bit much. And I think the song is better without it. So let's just do up to it's basically halfway down the second page there. Yeah. And then we start with when the Spirit says do, we replace it with sing, then dance, then laugh, and then I think we'll probably end it and redo the do at the end at that point. That work? Yeah. All right. You gotta do when the Spirit says and do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. When the Spirit says and do. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you gotta sing, oh Lord. Gotta sing when the Spirit says sing. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. You gotta dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you gotta dance, oh Lord. You gotta stand when the Spirit says dance. Laugh. You gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. When the Spirit says laugh, you gotta laugh, oh Lord. Gotta laugh when the Spirit says laugh. Shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you gotta shout, oh Lord. Gotta shout when the Spirit says shout. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. You gotta do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you gotta do, oh Lord. Gotta do when the Spirit says do. Nicely done for a first time. That's great.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks to you. Yeah, that was great. So we're going to have a story for all ages, and I'm wondering if the lights could be turned off, the overheads. You know where they are, Shauna? Because we're going to, it's going to be projected on the TV. Oh, first page. And I want to give a little intro to this. I'm sorry? Yeah. I'm going to give a little intro, but yeah, thanks. Thanks, Runa. So this is a little book that was a COVID project for me. And I brought it to our team meeting one time because it's related to the theme. And they said, oh, this is a story for all ages. And I'm like, no. So I've never read it in a group. And it is drawings, watercolors that my sister did. My sister died when she was 23.
Oh.
And she left a lot of artwork. She was a wonderful artist. And there is this little envelope of watercolors that are sized from about 2-inch square to 4 inches. They're all different. There was an envelope of these drawings that my mother had, so I've had them for years. And I just thought, these need to be a story. They were meant to be a story. So I put some words to it. And yeah, so I feel, my sister's name was Anne, and it's really moving for me to share it. So the name is Toucan's Journey. Wild sea beckons. Possibilities. Undaunted. Destiny calls. Into the blue. Held by the sea. Step forth. Hello.
Oh.
Friend. Together.
Oh. How old was your sister when she
23.
did those? When she did those though?
Oh, I don't know. There are no dates on them.
Beautiful.
No applause. Today you will hear 4 different voices on personal experiences of embracing possibility. That wasn't one of them calling. Whether you are making lemons out of lemonade, dreaming, learning, healing, or emerging out of grief, there are many ways to consider what might be possible. So I'll invite Donna up for the first reading.
Since my husband Martin's passing, I find that I view our monthly themes through the lens of loss. So I'd like to talk about the connection between embracing possibility and loss. The process of grief. How do we embrace possibility as our world has shifted? How do we find new footing, our way forward? Embracing possibility. Embrace can have an energetic, positive feeling to it, but not all embraces are this way. An embrace in a time of grief may be given with no words because something is held so fully in the heart. An embrace can acknowledge loss, suggest support, hold love. An embrace in a time of grief is not open-armed, welcoming. It is accepted and it is brought inside, held in a place that is private and tender. Time was a healing gift in this process. And over time, as my grief softened and loosened, I was able to engage in what I now describe or think of as an opening. Mary Caroline Richards, an American poet, describes this. She says, "Love, like its counterpart death, is a yielding at the center. One bends in the wind. Sometimes it is only by having all of one's so-called strength pulverized that one is weak enough, strong enough to yield." The Trinity Primrose Church blog talks about this a little differently. It describes placing ourselves in the open space of possibility. We tend not to do that. To go into the dark without a light is going without bringing anything with us. This requires a great letting go. I was in new terrain without a light, and it required a great letting go so that I could travel the path that I needed to be on. What I experienced, I would describe as a settling, a letting go, some kind of readiness to inhabit my new life. It was the movement I had to make, making the necessary adjustments in my life and in my spirit to come out a whole person, my emerging self. I think this movement I experienced is where the possibility comes in. Possibility can be, according to dictionary definitions, hope, a course of action, potential. The root word of possibility is the Latin word for be able. Once I had moved through the darkest grief, I believe now that I began to experience embracing possibility, being able. I was no longer tethered physically to the person I had been with for 50 years. I was very deeply, internally, turning toward my future. I began to experience, not in my head with words, but in my heart, my emerging self. I was acting out of something I felt moving inside of me, physically, almost like a river. I felt saturated by love. The use of the word saturated may seem strange, but I felt almost in a liquid state, one that I can't really describe. It was moving. I believe now that I was living and growing into embrace of possibility, of potential, of being able. I think that the process I went through involves turning towards its source, turning towards the loss, and letting it in as a new part of myself. Maybe that is even some form of embrace. That acceptance, that letting go, can enable one to stay on the path of a new and different life ahead, step by step constructing a new path to new ground. American psychologist Abraham Maslow says that in any given moment we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. I don't know that there is any possibility of safety after loss. But I think I needed to turn toward recovery and growth, making new room for possibilities in order to emerge whole in my newly forming self. I believe it takes a lot of strength to do this embracing of possibility after profound loss. But time is healing, and love is a really good anchor. And I believe in the words of the Irish poet, philosopher, and priest, John O'Donohue. This beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge.
Beautiful.
The wise words of Shunryu Suzuki say, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few." I connected with this quote because I've almost reached 70 years of life. And I've reflected on the old people in my family. This reflection showed me, as they grew older, their expert ways of being and views on life narrowed, offering fewer possibilities for change, for learning, for curiosity. Did it mean, as I expertly knew, to hug tightly? As a yoga teacher dedicated to practice, I was delighted to learn that it also means to take up the practice, the cause or ideology of something or someone. Travel recently opened up many potent chances to embrace possibility and the beginner's mind. What new practices could I learn that would enhance my travel experience? My partner Thomas and I had already been to Costa Rica twice, staying 3 weeks in the same town, the same inn, and the same culture in Monteverde. We enjoy staying longer in the same place to sleep better, to be able to cook, and to build relationships. Was I already an expert? Or what could I embrace that would bring new possibilities to my experience this time? I chose to return to yoga school online so I could take up the practice in our Monteverde Inn. I've been teaching yoga since 1999 and already learned from two different yoga teacher trainings. So in my expert's mind, to quote Suzuki, there were not many possibilities to embrace. I'd already learned many ways to prop a pose, how to sequence a class for my students to be able to balance, and the vital importance of breath. But adopting a beginner's mind, I searched and I found Yoga University Online. I was delighted to discover training that focused on strength for people over 50 years of age, which most of my students and I are. No matter where we were, at the hotel, waiting for Thomas's niece to arrive, or for him to take his morning shower, I could log in and learn. The yoga teachers began by establishing not the possibility, but the inevitability of losing muscle around the organs, bones, and brains as we age, and the challenge of building muscle, which is much harder. I already knew yoga was good for flexibility and balance, but I did not know how to practice specifically to benefit internal strength. I had to open my mind to new possibilities. The bottom line is, through every range of motion and pose, go slow. Stay in a pose for 10 or 15 breaths rather than 3. or 5. Come into it and go out of it slow, using all your internal strength of the muscles around your organs, bones, and brain. So I took up the practice to see how it felt in my own body. It's hard. Another example was our desire to be able to converse in Spanish. Thomas and I also practiced before and during our trip on Duolingo. I was an expert, fluent in Spanish at 21 years old when I did an immersion semester in Spain. Adopting Suzuki's beginner's mind only 40 years later, I relearned how to form verbs, how to make commands, how to grow my vocabulary. Sure, it's easy to remember saying gracias, thank you, to the taxi driver, as well as de vez en cuando when people ask, have I been to San Jose, the capital? But on Duolingo, I've learned to accept that making mistakes, like a beginner, is the way to learn. It's hard. Embracing possibility opened up new chances to free myself from the fate of the older, wiser expert mind, which I felt was narrow, closing down. The beginner's mind gave me new possibilities to meet challenges that arose, to learn new yoga practices, and Spanish. If you have any travel planned for 2026 or beyond, or simply want to learn something new, see if you too can take up the practice as part of embracing yourself and one another. See if you can adopt a beginner's mind, where, as Suzuki said, there are many possibilities. Begin again with curiosity.
Embracing, what a word. Given from our UUA brothers and sisters who created our monthly themes, intentional in their language, emphasizing the positive for inspiration. To embrace, to be willing to adopt and accept eagerly, to welcome ideas or opportunities. It is clear, embracing leans into hope. I'm reminded of how my attitude can be a strong influence on my actions. When I'm discouraged, my energy is diminished. When I'm angry, I shut down. When I feel playful, silliness sneaks out. And when I am hopeful, new opportunities definitely emerge. We all know how powerful positive thinking can be, so let's dive into possibility and embrace what might be, what hopefully could be possible. I've recently taken up collage making. Over the years, I've collected beautiful images from calendars, magazines, and cards, saving them in little drawers, waiting for moments when I'm inspired to sit down and create. As well, I've been reading about the innate creativity each has in us, waiting to be unleashed. I've been writing in the mornings, all in the service of nurturing and embracing my creative inner soul. The process has been a challenge. While I've cleared out my craft table and set aside time to play with images, I often delay, put other things first. What I've attempted to do is embrace the possibility of becoming skillful while having fun making collages. It is an uneven road for me, but one to which I'm committed and definitely enjoy when I'm sitting down to do it. In truth, I have for years wanted to be more creative in the arts. It's not been easy nor a smooth path, but I continue to embrace the possibility that I can find internal satisfaction in my process. A very old and dear friend of mine had distanced herself from me, following a serious mistake I made a year ago that left her understandably angry. We subsequently met twice over several months to repair, yet I hadn't heard from her in a long time. Her hurt and anger were significant, yet I did not want to lose her. Our bond is decades old and deep, so I embraced the possibility of further repair, even if it meant toward a more distant friendship. I had the choice to let go, accept, and experience my personal grief and regret. But I wanted to try one more time and reach out. I sent her a letter to which she replied quickly, thanking me and agreeing to the importance of our finding our way back to one another. I held on to the chance for a reunion and acted on it, eyes wide open that it might not work. I'm grateful to have embraced the possibility of our renewed friendship. Embracing possibility could be named, what if? Given that we're accepting new ideas and opportunities, gathering hope, here are a few possibilities for us to embrace, just for fun. What if we had a woman president? What if a prerequisite to being a political leader was passing a test in developing skills of compassion? I love that one. What if Lewis Hall became, or a future site that we might have sometime, became a popular venue for short-term classes for the community? What if VIU joined the Burton store to provide for the community foodstuffs that had been taken off the shelf but were safe to eat? Embracing possibility is a little like brainstorming. Each of these has its own complications, but they open up our minds to consider new options in our lives and in our community. A friend suggested that embracing possibility is making lemonades out of lemons. This is what I had to do back in 2013 when I was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 63. My world shut down emotionally in facing my mortality. I was terrified. One doctor told me I had 2 to 3 years to live. Another said 5 to 7 years. Clearly, I have surpassed those time frames. But out of this diagnosis, I embraced the possibility of the end of my life happening sooner than I imagined. I made plans to retire 2.5 years later. I am 13 years with leukemia and lymphoma, in remission and going strong. Retirement has been a good, very good, a blessing, even though I loved my work. I have made lemonade out of lemons. As a gardener, I live in the world of possibility. I cannot trust that the plants I purchased and tenderly cared for last year will return. I do not know if the seeds I plant in my vegetable garden will thrive. I never know if the plants I transplanted last fall will make it. But I am a true believer in the possibility that the dahlia tubers I have shared with you these Sundays will indeed bring color and beauty to your gardens as well as to mine. Yet I am completely hooked on gardening, on the risks, on the hard work, and the endless possibilities of beauty and bounty. I could name my garden Embracing Possibility. It is a garden of hope. Times are bleak these days, we all know this. We cannot avoid it. Let us pay attention to the message from Oprah Winfrey. Understand that the right to choose your own path is a sacred privilege. Use it. Dwell in possibility. I am willing and ready to embrace all that is possible in its deepest sense. May we all choose to welcome opportunities for change with open hearts and minds.
I never thought I'd be quoting an AI definition and writing from the heart, but here goes. It describes endless possibilities as a state with unlimited potential, numerous outcomes, or vast, unconstrained choices. It suggests that opportunities are limitless or continuing without end, often used to encourage optimism and freedom from constraints, though sometimes tempered by practical reality. Embracing possibility, our theme of the month, doesn't necessarily include the extremes of being limitless or unconstrained, but it does suggest potential and opportunity. As I have contemplated the meaning of embracing possibility over the past few weeks, I have found myself frequently thinking about my 16-year-old granddaughter, Nico. She is considering where she wants to go to college, what major she will choose, what qualities of campus life are important to her. She is an excellent student with diverse interests and parents who will support her choices. So many possibilities await her. I am excited for her to discover how she will bring her gifts out into the greater world. I am embracing possibilities for her. I think times of transition are places we most often embrace possibility. As soon as we become old enough to have some agency in decision-making, we begin to experience possibilities, especially with caring adults who value a child's autonomy and provide guidance along the way. These days, there are so many choices in a well-resourced community, perhaps too many. Parents who are attuned to a child's inclinations and capabilities can offer guidance in finding something that is a good fit. Of course, not all options have lifelong consequences, but as we get older and have greater agency, we can explore a wider range of possibilities. This creates a paradox, though. Choosing one of the myriad opportunities available to us at any transition point may close the door on another. We may have more choices as we grow into adulthood, but at the same time, possibilities may narrow as we bypass the roads not taken. Sometimes we may be aware that embracing one path closes other doors, and at other times we may not see the ramifications of those choices. Sometimes potential futures are torn from us due to life circumstances that we could never have anticipated. It's been interesting to reflect on my own journey from the vantage point of being an elder. I still embrace possibilities, but they are measured by the reality of being in an aging body, having less stamina, as well as fewer resources than I did during my working life. At the same time, my lived experience may lead to greater insight and discernment around decisions I make. How do we remain open to possibilities when reality intrudes on our dreams? Feminist writer and activist Gloria Steinem said, "Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning." With all the horrendous things that are going on in our world right now, can we stay open to possibilities of peace and well-being for everyone? Can we keep our dreams alive? One of the last times I heard Joanna Macy speak, when she was about 92, she said that she was happy to be alive in these challenging times because she was excited to see what young people were bringing to the work of what she called the Great Turning. As an environmental activist, she was perhaps more deeply aware than most people of the great harm we human beings have inflicted on Mother Earth. And yet, in spite of this knowledge, she embraced possibilities for healing and reconnection. Her joyful embrace of possibility is an inspiration for me as I aspire to show up in the world. For me, embracing possibility includes an element of not knowing, something I seem to circle back to in all of our themes. When I remember that I really don't know what the future will bring, I am better able to consider various outcomes. Remembering that I don't know how it will all unfold invites me to look at my attachment to having things be a certain way. If I can let go of the need to hold on to that limited perspective, it becomes more likely that I will be able to embrace new possibilities. Our shared UU value of transformation is defined as adapting to the changing world. Although it sometimes feels as if the world is spinning out of control, I still aspire to be in alignment with the power of transformation. I hope to remain open to possibilities of seeing and maybe even embracing perspectives that I may not have previously considered. May we all bring discernment and curiosity to the opportunities that await us. So let us hold a moment of silent contemplation as we allow the words we have all spoken to settle into our bodies and our hearts. And now, please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home.
standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now. Never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
Lovely. Thank you, Mark. So we will now pause the recording, now resume recording as we finish the service. As members and friends of the Vashon Island Unitarian Universalists, we commit to supporting our congregation. Financial resources help us to pay speakers and staff, support our social justice programs, and maintain our building. Please support VIUU with your pledges and offerings so that we can continue to be a vital community. Our congregation engages beyond our walls for peace, social and economic justice, freedom of belief, and protection of our planet and its inhabitants. Once a month, we contribute the financial offering to a regional, national, or international organization that aligns with our values. This week's offering supports our beloved community. Our greeters will now pass around the offering baskets. As we receive our offering, please join in singing "We Give Thanks."
We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for the time we share, for with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all all gathered here, not far away, for the time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
I'd like to invite Amy up for the chalice extinguishing.
These are the words of Reverend Manish Mishra Marzetti. Song of the Universe. Can you still hear the song? The one sung for you when you were born. Listen carefully. Can you hear it still? A song of possibility. A reminder that we still have time to be who and what we need to be.
Please join me in listening to Mark share our musical postlude.
Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, know the water's sweet, but blood is thicker. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, do you still believe in one another? Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. But if I'm far from home, oh brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh sister, I will help you out. If the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Hey, brother, there's an endless road to rediscover. Hey, sister, do you still believe in love? I wonder. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you, there's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. But if I'm far from home, oh brother, I will help you out. If I lose it all, oh sister, I will help you out. If the sky comes falling down for for you. There's nothing in this world I wouldn't do. Song by Dan Kaminsky. Thank you.
So, I'd like to thank all of the worship participants, including Runa for tech, the amazing Mark Wells.
Thank you very much.
The whoever brought flowers, hospitality team 4 for participating in today's service, and there will be an announcement about the dots. Thank you all for being here. Please join us for refreshments following the VIUU events announcements. If you have an announcement to share related to a VIUU activity, please come up and form a line along the side of the sanctuary. Now, let's sing ourselves out with Go Now In. Oh, that's after? Okay, first announcements. Don't get up. First announcements.
Next Sunday. Next Sunday, we will participate in a flower communion. It was created 103 years ago by the Reverend Norbert Kapek, who founded the Unitarian Church of Czechoslovakia. That church, at one time, became the largest Unitarian church in the world. His intention was to offer a ritual that would celebrate the Unitarian belief in the uniqueness of each individual, and that would bind the church together. This flower is unique. Each of us is unique. So we will celebrate our diversity and uniqueness with a ritual that includes give and take. So please bring a flower to give to the creation of a bouquet. And you will take a flower home. And we will honor the unity of our faith.
Hello, I'm Robbie. I'm your board chair this year, and I'm just helping to make an announcement about, I think it's being called New View, which is one of the ways that we're beginning to approach thinking about what we do in the future about ourselves as a growing congregation. So Alex and Jessica have been trying to pull together a group of people, one of the first of a number of conversations that will happen over the next period of time, for folks who are interested in helping to pursue that. There happen to have been a couple of properties that went on the market in our community. Whether or not they're feasible or possible, who knows, but that kind of provided the emphasis for the group to just get together and start this. So I just want to let people know that doesn't mean everybody won't have lots of opportunities to have input into the process. This just really started with a bang because, Bernie let us know about some possibilities, and we didn't want to be like, oh, no, we're not ready. We're not going to look at anything. So, but anyway, still, this, I just want to make sure people understand that this isn't like going ahead with something per se. This is like checking out what we need to do for due diligence, and then we'll move ahead if there's a chance. But there'll be lots of opportunities for us to be involved as a congregation in saying what we want and saying how a space reflects who we are. So, and that also being said, Alex is advertising a meeting, and I don't know the specifics of it, but Jessica's going to tell you.
Sign up right here if you want to participate in that conversation.
Yeah, great. Good. And thank you. And I just wanted to say how nice it is that we're talking about embracing possibilities right in the middle of our stewardship campaign.
My name's Beth. There's been an interest expressed that some services that we have for the coming year be led by some of you. And so I've been conjuring this idea to inspire you to think about whether or not you would like to join a couple of other people to create a service next year, or maybe do 2 services. That you might look around in the next month and see if there's somebody that you'd like to work with, you'd like to plan a service with. The Mystery and Wonder team has been working for 4 years, and it has been a rich and rewarding experience for us. The month of May is pretty amazing because we will have 3 lay-led services led by groups of 3 or 4 people. Next week is the flower communion. There will be 3 of us doing the service. A few weeks later, Rick and Jessica and Roger will be doing a service, and then the Mystery and Wonder team will do the last service of the month. So that's 3 by some of us. There's a sign-up sheet over there. I and we as the Mystery and Wonder Group are very welcome to support you in learning how to do it. The process, there's a bunch of planning to do. But it's a very wonderful experience. So you'll hear from me again and again, and you'll see it in announcements because I want to bug you and I want to inspire you. It is a wonderful, rich experience.
Hi, I'm Jessica, Stewardship Committee. Can we bring our tree up? We're working on it. Okay, Spencer's going to help. So we are about halfway there. We're at 50,000. Yeah. So in order just to break even, our budget this last year was, it came out to about 91. So we're about halfway there. Let me see our tree here. So that's okay. Spencer can help you. But there's a QR code there. And if anybody wants some assistance for how to do their pledge online with the QR code, I will stick around and show you. If anyone is a paper person, that's okay too. I have some paper pledge forms. I'm also going to send out an email this week from the Stewardship Committee to remind you all with links to how to pledge online and a print version of this, as well as a giving guide that sort of lets you reflect on the level at which you are able to give. We encourage inspired giving because we have some big ideas about where we want to go as a community, but the giving guide really lets you reflect on how full your cup is and what you have to share. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll hang around and you can add a leaf. 50,570.
Hi, I'm Maya. This is an announcement about CBEC in August, but Alex and Sue and I met to talk about workshops for CBEC. So if anybody wants to lead a workshop, has a skill or a hobby or whatever you want to share, let one of us know because we're gathering ideas for the workshops.
Good morning. I just have another announcement about the music group, which is going to be doing the VIUU 70th anniversary and music. We're going to do a whole music service, which is going to be led by Mark Wells and 2 of his friends, and Judy Whitney and Ann Lewis have been involved, and some other folks as well. So that'll be on the 24th of May. So I chatted with Judy and Ann a little bit, and we'd like to just have like a 10-minute gathering. Judy has a list of songs, and the whole thing will be music. It'll be like the chalice lighting will be music, and the chalice extinguishing. We're hoping to get the drumming circle involved outdoors to meet us. Anyway, lots of ideas. So if those of you who are involved in that could just meet, we have a couple questions to answer, but otherwise we're about ready. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marilee, and I know you're all dying to know what you're going to do with your blue dots. But before I tell you, I have another announcement. Haha, fooled ya. On Saturday, May the 9th, VIUU is hosting Ramona Bennett, former chairman of the Puyallup tribe, who will be here talking about and reading from her memoir, Fighting for the Puyallup. I have to tell you, she is a remarkable woman. And it's such an honor to get to host her here. We're joined in co-sponsorship by several of the churches, the Episcopalians, the Methodists, the Friends of Thunderbird, the Vashon Heritage Museum. Anyway, I encourage you to save the date, 1:30 in the afternoon here. Okay. The date is? May the 9th, 2 weeks from yesterday. It's not it's not a Sunday service. It's a Saturday afternoon. It is Mother's Day weekend, but hey, she's a valiant, incredible mother, among other things. Okay, blue dots. In last year, the board created something called the Community Support Fund, allocated $6,500 in our budget to spend in a gift into the community to reflect our Unitarian values. And our interests. So a committee was formed this year that includes Shauna Ahern, Sheila Brown, Jean Berolsheimer, Donna Klemka, Julia Lakey, and Sue Letzinger, and myself. And we have worked together to come up with a way to include all of you in deciding how we will allocate these funds. Today is step one. We'd like you to help us prioritize the area of need in our community you want to focus on this year. That's what your blue dot is for. We've given you these little pieces of paper that show the areas that we brainstormed, and the very same list is on the back 2 doors bigger. So that we gave you this so you could think about it a little bit, because we thought, well, just springing the sign on you at the end of the service was a little much. Unfortunately, I mean, it's not unfortunate. One of the doors is open. I didn't want to shut it because we'd all like roast in here. So both doors have these categories on them. What I'd like you all to do is sometime before you leave today, take your blue dot, unpeel it from the sticky, and put it next to the word, the category of need that you most want to focus on this year. What'll happen next is that from that we'll get to see what's the priority in our community. And then this committee will come back to you in a couple of weeks with a list of all of the organizations and programs that address this particular need. And we will again work together to identify how and where we want to spend our money. Okay? Pardon me? Oh, the yellow dot is a sacrificial dot because I needed I needed room to staple this onto your little form, and I found that if I stapled on the blue, you wouldn't be able to unstick the blue sticker. So, right, exactly. And if you're online, Runa is writing in these same categories in the chat, and you can pick the one that you want and send it back to Runa, and we'll put a dot up for you, and you will have a you'll have a real dot on the chart. Thank you for doing this with us. It's important that we all together make this choice and not a small group. It's all of our collected treasure. And it's important to think about where can we do and how can we do the most good in our community with this particular effort, the Community Support Fund. And I wish Kim were here because this was an idea that she had and she would have liked hearing how it's evolving. She did. Yeah, I did. I don't know if she put it up. I was just really focused on the lambs. So, blue, before you leave, stick your blue dot next to the area of need that you want us to prioritize this year. Okay? Vicki.
I just really need to say thank you to the Mystery and Wonder team. I feel so much better than when I arrived here this morning. It was absolutely beautiful. And without this community behind us and all the love and flowers and food and texts and phone calls, we wouldn't be up here today doing this. And I'm so proud of my husband. Thank you so much.
So, my name is Tanya, and what I'm passing out is Robert Reich's 10 ideas for what you can do to resist. And so you get the first 4 of the 10 today. You get the first 3 today. Next week 4, and the final week will be the last 3. So, and we had an idea that we could share what we've accomplished next week, if you want to. Yeah. Thank you.
Everybody remember that it's church this afternoon at the Oak Base? It's 4 o'clock. Pardon? 4 o'clock, right? 4 o'clock at the Oak Base is church, and it's so much fun. If you've never been there, this would be a highlight of your vacation.
Let's stand and say, "Go now in peace."
Now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Thank you, Mark.
My pleasure.
You're playing and you're Mark, thank you so much. That was lovely.
My pleasure.
And I've been sick for about 3 weeks, so I didn't mean to drop the ball on everything. But yeah, so do you have like after?
Yes, Judy's already talked to you, so I'm going to stick around and talk to you.
Excellent. Do we want to meet out here? Or?
Sure. Out here's fine. Yesterday, I just started thinking of some things that might need to be considered. So I just want to share these with you and Mary. And get copies about just some things about things might Oh no! That was I said it's a song by Dan Timinsky. He's the guy that. Did you ever see "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"? Okay, the song. What's it called? Yeah, what's this? The main song called? Yeah, that's the name of the film, and I think there is a song with that. But there's also, I can't believe I'm having a brain fart on this one. It's that Man of Constant Sorrow, and so the guy that actually sings that, it's not George Clooney really singing it. That's Dan Timinsky who wrote that song. So yeah. Oh, thank you. So we're gonna meet out here after snacks and stuff. I'm probably gonna get just a little snack. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. Hello, Carmen. So you come in. Oh, okay. Lord, that was so good. I love your heart. Yeah, sorry.